Hi there and welcome to Tech Life, a channel where I aim to review everything from selfie sticks to laptops to IDs for coding, video editing, software for producing thumbnails, essentially anything tech related. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you have anything that you think I should review, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to review that product. So this video is the start of a series of videos on the Python programming language. The series is aimed at people with little or no programming experience, and I'll try to make the videos as easy to follow as possible. So a brief history on Python. Python was created way back in the 1980s. I think some people think Python is quite a relatively new language, but it was actually created back in 1980s by a chap called Guido van Rossum. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his first name, Guido van Rossum. And Python is the successor to another programming language called ABC. The Python name itself derives from the comedy series Monty Python's Flying Circus. Some of you might have seen that many years ago. To be honest, I wasn't a big fan. Python 3.0 was released back in 2008, and this was a major release. Versions 3.0 and later are not completely backwardly compatible with older versions of Python. As of May 2026, Python 3.14.5 is the latest stable release, and in this series of videos, I'll be using that particular version. So even though Python is over 40 years old, Python consistently ranks among the top 10 most popular programming languages in the world. Python has gained extensive use in the machine learning community for AI. It's also widely taught as an introductory programming language because of its clear and simple syntax. Python can be used for data analysis, AI, automation, web apps, mobile apps, desktop apps, and even hacking. Um, so it's got many uses. In order to get started with Python, we need to head over to python.org to download a version of the programming language. So let's jump onto our favorite browser and we type in python.org, which takes us over to the Python website. And then from here we can go to downloads and we can download a version of the program language. If you are on a Windows machine, you are obviously going to select the Windows option. If you're on a Mac, then you're going to go for this Mac OS option. I'm on Windows, and I'm going to download and install Python 3.14.5 as mentioned earlier. So let's go ahead and click that. And that's downloaded the 64-bit version for me because I'm on a 64-bit operating system. And then we can go ahead and install that. If you're using Windows and you've downloaded the installation for Windows, then make sure you click this checkbox, add python.exe to path. And then you can click on install now. And it's going to install it to C users and programs Python. Yeah, that's fine. Let's install that now. It's going to take a few minutes to install. Cool. Once you've installed it, you should get this pop-up saying setup was successful. Okay, once Python is installed, if we go to a Windows search down here at bottom left, we can either type terminal or in my case command prompt, and in this command prompt, if we type Python space 2 dashes and version and hit return, we should see the installed Python version. Okay, now that we've got Python installed, the next thing we need to do is install either a code editor or an IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, and IDEs are very similar to code editors, but they do offer additional functionalities, things like the ability to debug code, things like auto completion, and various other tools. One of the most popular IDEs for Python is an IDE called PyCharm, and some of the more popular code editors that people use for programming Python are Visual Studio Code, VS Code, Atom, or Sublime. I tend to use Visual Studio Code for a number of reasons. Partly because it's free, so you can jump onto Microsoft's website to download it, and it's totally free. And also because it's extremely powerful, and it's quite versatile in that you can add extensions and essentially turn it into quite a decent, powerful IDE. So I already have Visual Studio Code installed, but for those of you who don't, then if you head over to code.visualstudio.com, you should be able to download the Windows version right from the initial page. But if you are using a different platform apart from Windows, then if you click on other platforms over here, then you have the ability to download a version for obviously Windows, whether that be it's only 64-bit actually, so it tends to be for 64-bit versions. And then you also have the ability to download a version for Linux or for Mac. I have the 64-bit version installed for Windows 10 because the box that I'm using here is a Windows 10 box, and it's straightforward. Obviously, you just click on the download and then just follow the on-screen prompts in order to do the install. So once you've installed Visual Studio Code, go ahead and fire it up. And then the first thing we're going to do is create a folder, and this folder is going to be used for storing our code in. If you click on the icon over here, the top left, Explorer, and then click on Open Folder, and then if you navigate to where you want to create that new folder, and then do a right click, folder, and I'm going to call this Python code. Select that, and we say yes, we trust this. And so here we have our folder where we can create new files and new folders. So we've got a folder. The next thing we want to do is create a file within that folder, and we do that by clicking this icon here, new file. We're going to give this file a name, and let's call it my first app. And we're going to give this an extension. We're going to give this an extension of py. So Python programs traditionally have the extension, so that's those are the characters after the dot, and Python programs have this py extension. Let's hit return on that. We'll ignore that message, and as with all high-level programming languages, Python has many built-in functions, and one of those functions is called print, and we're going to use the print function by typing in print, which is a keyword, and functions and methods are followed by open and close parentheses like so. And within these parentheses, we are going to place some text. And because it's text, we're going to encase that text in quotes. So we're using double quotes. In Python, you can use either double quotes or single quotes. I'm just going to use double quotes for now. And we are going to type in text within these quotes, and we're going to say Lamborghinis. Lambo. I'm going to say Lamborghinis rock, because I reckon Lamborghinis do rock. Okay, cool. So we've got one line of code. In order to save this code, we're going to hit Control S to save. And we can run this one line of code. We can do it one of two ways. We can either go to the terminal, or in my case, the command prompt, CMD, and I need to navigate to the right subdirectory or folder, TechLive, and it's going to be Python code. Yeah, and we can see our first Python program there, myfirstapp.py. And in order to run this, we type in Python space and then the name of the program, my first app.py. We hit return, and we should be able to see the output of that one line of code, and all it does is it just prints out Lamborghini's rock. So that's what the print function does. It literally just prints out whatever's encased in those inverted commas. That is one way to run the code. It's a bit messy having to go out to the command prompt or the terminal in order to run code. So we can actually run code from within Visual Studio Code, and we can do that by navigating to this new terminal up here. So using the menu up here, or we can do Control, Shift, and single quote to open this terminal window. And again, we can type in Python space and then the name of our program, which is my first app.py, and Lamborghini's rock is output to our terminal. Cool, that is our very first Python program. Okay, let's modify this code slightly. So at the moment, when we run this code, Lamborghini's rock is printed out once. What if we want to maybe print this out 10 times? See if this works. So again, Control S to save. And if we go down to this terminal window here, if we use the up arrow key, whatever commands we've previously typed, they will pop up. So literally I've just hit the up arrow and we're going to hit return there. And it's printed out Lamborghini's rock, I would say 10 times. If we wish to, if this window is getting slightly messy, we can type in CLS to clear the screen. We can now, as promised, I was going to show you how to make our Visual Studio Code code editor into more of an IDE, and we can do that by coming across here to the left hand side and clicking this extensions button, and then if we look down here, we have this Python extension, and this allows us to uh, convert Visual Studio Code into more of an IDE. So it'll allow us to use debugging tools, autocomplete, and various other things. So if we click on the install here, okay, that took a few minutes, but I think it's managed to install it. So we can close that window and we can reopen our Explorer. And immediately you should be able to see something slightly different in that top right here, we now have a run button. So let's see what this does. We've still got our code here, that one line of code that we've typed in. We made the amendment by saying multiply whatever appears in these inverted commas by 10. So it's going to output Lamborghini's rock 10 times. So let's just see what this run button does. And so it's output Lamborghini's rock 10 times without us having to type in Python and then the name of our application. Excellent. So this run button is not the only additional feature of that extension that we've just installed. Installing that extension means that we'll have other tools available to us, things like linting. Linting basically means the editor analyzes our code for potential errors and highlights them before we even build our code, and it suggests possible fixes. Other benefits of downloading that extension include auto-completion, which obviously helps us to write faster code by just being able to type partial keywords and then for the code editor to suggest the remainder of the word. Debugging is also built into the extension that we've just installed, and code formatting. Let's have a quick look at maybe linting. So if I misspell print, we can see that it's underlined, and so the editor is telling us there's a potential issue with this piece of code, and it's saying PRIN is not defined as a function. And then there's some suggestions: quick fix, change spelling to print. And so not only does it highlight the fact that we might have made a mistake on the fly, so we didn't have to build this code in order for us to discover that there might be an issue with our code. So if there are many lines of this and you'd made a mistake in terms of making a spelling mistake, it would immediately highlight the fact that there is an issue, and it even suggests how to fix those issues, which I think is extremely powerful, and it saves an awful lot of time when we start coding larger applications. I think we're going to wrap this video up for now. This, as I say, is part one. This is literally the getting started video. So let's have a quick recap on what we did and what we looked at. So in this video, we downloaded Python. Obviously, in order to be able to use it, we had to download and install it. Next, we downloaded an editor of our choice. I already have Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code installed, and that's my preferred code editor for a number of different reasons. And then after downloading our editor, we typed in our very first Python code, and it used the print function, which is a built-in function. Lastly, we installed the Python extension to Visual Studio Code, and we had a quick look at linting. We also mentioned that linting is just one of the many different features that this extension provides. There's also debugging, auto-completion, and formatting. Okay, thank you so much for watching this. First in a series of beginners tutorials. Be sure to watch out for part 2, and in that part we'll be looking at variables. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next one.